Board of Trustees meeting for the Crown Point School Corporation. Today's date is May 20th. I'd like to call this meeting to order at 6 p.m. If you could all please rise, and I'll lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance in a moment of silence immediately after. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, the first item on the agenda tonight is the Board of School Trustees Resolution of Commendation Award 2.01 Taft Middle School Academic Super Bowl Team for being named state champions in the Social Studies category in Class 1 at the Indiana Academic Super Bowl competition. Item 2.02 Colonel Wheeler and Taft Middle School Dance Team for being named state champions in the Junior High AAA Jazz and Junior High AAA Palm at the state competition. Item 2.03, Crown Point High School Science Olympiad Team for winning first place overall at the Regional Science Olympiad Tournament. Item 2.04, the 2023 and 2024 Business Professionals of America Team for earning first, second, and third place in students' various individual awards at the 2024 Business Professionals of America State Leadership Conference, and second, fifth, and sixth place for students' individual awards at the National Leadership Conference. Item 2.05, 2023 and 2024 Crown Point High School Academic Super Bowl Team for winning first place in the English, Math, Science, and Interdisciplinary categories in Class 1 at the Indiana Regional Academic Super Bowl competition. Item 2.06, 2023-2024 Crown Point High School Latin Club for winning first place in the Helen Wimpler Spirit Contest, the Digital Scrapbook Contest, the Dennis M. Bartlow Publicity Contest, and the Local Publications Contest, and placing first place in the Certamen Advanced and Intermediate Divisions and third in the Certamen Novice Division at the Indiana Junior Classical League State Convention. And finally, item 2.07, 2024-2025 Teacher of the Year, Employee of the Year, and Administrator of the Year Award presentations, and all others who were up for those as finalists in those positions today. So may I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Show a motion by Ms. Bazin and seconded by Mr. Vassar. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And nay. The motion will carry 3-0. Mr. Vassar will present the items for the Taft Middle School Academic Super Bowl Team. If we could have them come in and stand in front. This will be a small group tonight compared to the other groups I can see. Go ahead, Mr. Vassar.
This is our Taft Middle School Academic Super Bowl team who were state champions in the Social Studies category in Class 1 at the Indiana Academic Super Bowl competition. So first we have our coaches, Jamie Lees. And second coach is Karen Snoddy. Before we give the certificates to the students, coaches, do you have anything you'd like to say about your team? Quite an accomplishment.
I mean, I've been doing this only 2 years, but I go back into the records and we've never made it this high. So I'm really proud of these 3 gentlemen. They did an amazing job. I mean, they really guided themselves. We give them the tools and they're the ones that study. I know they just have a knack for social studies.
This is my first year, so I was just kind of my learning year, so it's a great year to start.
Congratulations, coaches. So we have, if I mispronounce your name, don't hold it against me. Is it Dejan Josephowski?
It's Dan Josephowski.
So I had the vowels right. Mason Jusko. And Sean Morris. Congratulations, parents, grandparents. Want to take any photos? Now's your opportunity.
Thank you, guys. Excellent. Congratulations.
Next, we have the middle school dance teams. This is our combined Colonel Wheeler and Taft Middle School dance team, who were state champions in junior high, class AAA, both jazz and AAA pom. Quite an accomplishment. Let's introduce our coaches first and receive their certificates. We have Tamara Betts. And Kelly McCarthy. And my favorite dancer of all time, Annie Vassar. Coaches, before we present to our athletes here, do you have anything you want to say about your team?
I just want to say thank you. It was my last year of coaching, and I couldn't have picked a better year to go on. Not because you guys got first place in both, which is astounding, but because you guys are all just tremendously amazing children, and I can't believe the stuff you've done and continue to do. And you're bright and beautiful, and thank you for giving me the best last season I could ever wish for.
Additionally, just it made school history, the fact that you guys were able to get state champions in both routines. That's never been done at the middle school level before, so that's a really big accomplishment, and you all should be incredibly proud of the work that you put in this season.
Awesome.
Okay, let's get to the individual awards. This is Briley Bowman. Julia Basil. Lily Baja. Hadley McCready. Hayden Babcock. Sabrina White. Jessica Walden. Ellen Richter. Lily Petty. Claire Peterson. Kensley Mercado. and Isley Kozik. Once again, congratulations. Moms and dads, anybody else want to take pictures? Now is your big opportunity.
Can we make two rows, guys? Littles in front. You guys know how to do it, yeah?
Congratulations. All right, next we have the Crown Point High School Science Olympiad team. We can bring them in. Come all the way down, if you could. Make room. Back up here. Is that anything back up? We good? All right. The next commendation is for the Crown Point High School Science Olympiad team for winning first place overall at the Regional Science Olympiad Tournament. What a great honor that is. I'd like to read the resolution of commendation. The Crown Point Board of School Trustees is honored to commend the 2023 and 2024 Crown Point High School Science Olympiad team for meritorious achievement. Be it hereby resolved that the Board of School Trustees for the Crown Point Community School Corporation wishes to express sincere congratulations to the 2023-2024 Crown Point High School Science Olympiad team for winning first place overall at the regional competition. The Board of School Trustees publicly recognizes this achievement and renders it permanently to its minutes to be preserved for public posterity on this 20th day of May, 2024. I'd like to first recognize Coach Tim Clamo? Tim, congratulations. Would you like to speak about your team a little bit?
Yep, so, unfortunately here, because of the All-City Band and Orchestra concert here, now all of us were able to make it here, so, for those who weren't able to, they, of course, they were also a big integral part of it. So, but for those students who were here, they were able to achieve, wonderful, earning first place here at the regional competition. And, we're set up here for success here from the support of our middle school teams. We're able to honor trajectory here and be able to have support here for future success, both at both the regional tournaments and the state tournaments from previous years.
And Coach, how does this performance compare to years in the past?
So this is actually our first place at the regional tournament. So this is actually, the highest, best we had scored here, and numerous first place medals here, and numerous, second places as well. And so, this is a sampling here of the numerous events that they earned the medals in.
Oh, fantastic, Coach. Congratulations. I'll call out the names if you want to come forward if you're here, and I know we'll have some to put aside, but Tyson Abraham? Tyson here? Okay. Xander Abraham? Madeline Bronson? Moving along. Nick Collier? Jace Edwards? Ashley Johnson? Simra Khan? Annabelle Coomson? Maya Leesma? I'm just hearing Coach say concert. So, Sarah Leitzel? Ariel Moore? Bernardino Pereira? Did I pronounce that right? What is it? Bernardino. All right. Come on up. I'm not really sure about it. Max Poole? Ben Gabby Stabler. Alfie Strachus. All right, well, I think that comes to the end of the line there, but congratulations again, coach, team. Well done. Thank you for representing Crown Point School Corporation so well. Thank you for all your hard work. It's a great honor, a great achievement. You should be very proud of yourself, so let's give it up for all.
You take one big step this way.
Everybody else have them if you're.
That's okay. Okay, ready? Stay in. Kiss your parents.
Coach, I'm gonna give you the rest of the team awards. Or take the lead. All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, let's bring in the Business Professionals of America team. Man, looking sharp. Look at that. What kind of people there. Well, next we're going to recognize the 2023-2024 Business Professionals of America team for earning first, second, and third place in students' various individual awards at the 2024 Business Professionals of America State Leadership Conference, and second, fifth, and sixth place for students' individual awards at the National Leadership Conference. I'd like to read the team resolution of commendation first. The Crown Point Board of School Trustees is honored to commend the Crown Point High School team, or 2023-2024 Business Professionals of America team for meritorious achievement. Be it hereby resolved that the Board of School Trustees for the Crown Point Community School Corporation wishes to express sincere congratulations to the 23-24 Business Professionals of America team for earning first, second, and third place in students' various individual awards at the 2024 Business Professionals of America State Leadership Conference, and second, fifth, and sixth place for students' individual awards at the National Leadership Conference. The Board of School Trustees publicly recognizes this achievement and renders it permanently to its minutes to be preserved for public posterity this 20th day of May, 2024. Congratulations, everyone. Coach, you want to come over and join me for a minute? Coach Batnick, I've had the pleasure, my children have had you in class, so I know how well and how great a job you do with business and your team. Can you explain the process of how we got here and how these awards and this process works to win the leadership conference and just the whole ceremony and how this all goes down and how are these gentlemen work?
So Business Professionals of America is a group of individuals that are really interested in getting into careers in business. And so there are 6 different categories that they can get involved in and over 70 different events. So students typically pick those events based on what kinds of skills that they've gained in the classroom or outside of the classroom. And then they start to compete. They can be in individual events or they can be in team events. And so before you see both individual and team individuals here, part of our group. And so we start out at the regional level and we compete with schools within our region. There's 10 different schools in our region, and then once we qualify, then we go to the state competition in March where 1,300 other students from the state are competing for BPA. And then if we qualify, we go to nationals. We just got back for spending 4 days in Chicago with 6,500 students from all over the country, China, Puerto Rico, and Canada. And these are all highly skilled, highly professional individuals, and they could walk into any boardroom and represent Crown Point Community School Corporation. I mean, look how great they look, right? They're highly professional, and I'm so proud of them. They worked so hard. When you get involved in BPA, as in any other academic team, when you're competing with students from
a passion, don't you?
Just a
You
little.
like this. I can tell. No, it's awesome, fantastic. Congratulations. And one question, how long have you been doing this for the high school?
Well, I brought BPA to the high school 16 years ago. They call me Mrs. B, so I'm wearing my B outfit because my last name is Backneck, and I bleed blue, tan, and red. Like I'm all about BPA. If you go to my classroom, you'll see all kinds of pictures. So it's my passion. I love BPA, and so my job is to recruit these guys and let them do their job and just have a great time doing it. So yeah.
I know one thing, I'm not going to wear a three-quarter zip ever again. All right, let's get to the accommodations and the individuals. Jake Bauman. Trent Tillage. Mason Urbini. Ari Barakataris. Maritaris, excuse me. Aiden Corwahoven?
Aiden's not here right now.
Did I pronounce it right?
Haven't opened.
All right. Okay, thank you. Pennyoti Madden? Parker Nix? You look like your dad, man. Whoa. Devian Oten? Cesar Quirmet? And Miss Mary Beck? Coach McFarland in a minute.
He's not in the
Okay.
mix, I'll take that for him.
Yes.
Would you like to take Aiden's as well?
You know what, I'll hold them if you want to take the pictures, and then or you want to take them both?
Sure.
Take them off?
More is more.
Okay, all right, take some pictures and, go from there.
Great, thank you.
They need 2 rows, 1 row up here on the step, and then another row coming up here. 3 or 4 in the step. Perfect. There we go. That'll do. Alright, look at this one first. Okay, I'm gonna move this data.
Good? Congratulations.
All right, next, can we please bring in the academic Super Bowl team? All right, welcome. So I'll first read our resolution of commendation. The Crown Point School Board of Trustees is honored to commend the 2023-2024 Crown Point High School Academic Super Bowl team for meritorious achievement. Be it hereby resolved that the Board of School Trustees for the Crown Point Community School Corporation wishes to express sincere congratulations to the 2023-2024 Crown Point High School Academic Super Bowl team for winning first place in the English, Math, Science, and Interdisciplinary categories in Class 1 at the Indiana Regional Academic Super Bowl competition. The Board of School Trustees publicly recognizes this achievement and renders it permanently to its minutes to be preserved for public posterity. So, Coach, can I have you come on up? Mr. McKee? And I'm going to give you the podium here and let you say a few words about the team.
these are just the hardest working and most intelligent kids in the school. It's not like an athletic event where they get to run around for a little bit after school. It's just constant brain power. They're in the hardest classes in the school. They're in a lot of AP classes, and then they do more studying for academic Super Bowl. And it's just, I'm so proud of them, like how much work that they actually put in. They learn a lot of college level material in high school independently. Like the coaches help them out a little bit, but this is most of it is just on them to just learn that college level material all by themselves there. And to do that at such a high level, to represent Crown Point, it's an amazing student. They got amazing parent support, amazing amazing work ethics, and just the brains is amazing. So great.
And Coach, can you tell us, is this an all year, so do they start in the fall and continue throughout the year, or does it start in mid-year?
We start sometimes a little before Christmas break, and then we continue it all throughout the spring.
And is it one single competition, or are they doing competitions leading up to the regional?
We do like a little fine-tune competition, and then we have like our DAC competition that they also won that for like 4 years in a row. And then we had the area competition. It was the first team we had to have like 5 state qualifiers for each of the subjects.
Coach, I'm gonna have you read off, each of the names, and then you can hand it to me, and I will hand it over to Marcos.
Thank you. We still read it if they're not here?
You go ahead and read them that way.
Okay. Isaac Foster, Bella Lamparski, Maya Liestma, Sarah Leitzel, Eva Opatoski, Vanessa Olina, Santino Pape, Max Poole, he was just up here for BPA, but Caesar Karamit, older brother Miles Karamit, Billy Roman, Kaylin Ward, we are missing somebody. Missing Gabriella Stabler. That works.
Open, let's do it, made the decision, open. We just won't zoom in.
Guys, congratulations. Our next award will be for the Crown Point High School Latin Club. Come on in, Latin Club. All right, so our resolution of commendation, the Crown Point Board of School Trustees is honored to commend the 2023-2024 Crown Point High School Latin Club for meritorious achievement. Be it hereby resolved that the Board of School Trustees for the Crown Point Community School Corporation wishes to express sincere congratulations to the 2023-2024 Crown Point High School Latin Club for winning first place in the Helen Wampler Spirit Contest, the Digital Scrapbook Contest, the Dennis M. Bartlow Publicity Contest, and the Local Publications Contest, and for placing first in the Sertiman Advanced and Intermediate Divisions and third in the Sertiman Novice Division at the Indiana Junior Classical League State Convention. The Board of School Trustees publicly recognizes this achievement and renders it permanently to its minutes to be preserved for public posterity. So we have coaches Ryan Collier, Angie, say it one more time, Tereskevich, and Mr. Jeremy Walker. Coaches, do you want to come on up and say a couple words about our team?
Yeah, this was our first 3-day convention. It's always been a 2-day convention, so that was an adventure. And I have to give props to Hayden Smith, who was the state first vice president, who planned all of that 3-day in this brand new format. So great job, Hayden. That was a big kudos all the way around. We had 21 students go, and of those 21, they brought home 134 top 5 placings in either academic testing, graphic arts, or creative arts, where they do things like Latin oratory, English oratory, acting out a passage in Latin. Some really cool stuff. If you ever get a chance to come with us, we'd love to have you, and I think you'd really enjoy the experience. They are fantastic kids to work with. They work really hard, and with my whole team here, there are 3 of us who teach Latin at the high school, and they do a great job. You'll notice there are not a lot of us here tonight. It's the all-city band concert. And if you don't know this about Latin students, they're very musical. Band, choir, orchestra. So we don't have a lot here getting their awards, but there are a lot of us. And we're just happy to be here and to do a great job year after year with these young people.
And how long have you been coaching this, our Latin club team?
Wow, I think I just got called out for being old.
I know that you've been putting in years of work, so I'd like to be able to recognize that.
This is my 29th year teaching at Crown Point High School and bringing teams to the state competition.
Hello, I'm Angela Tereskevich, and I've been teaching at Crown Point High School for 5 years and have only had the pleasure and the honor of being involved with the Latin program for the last 3. This is a tremendous group of kids. They work really hard. And I just want to shout out our Kurtamen teams a little bit, because when everyone else is busy, working in the weight room and practicing their sports, these folks show up every single Friday night for an hour and a half and study topics in language, in ancient history, and mythology, and culture. And it shows in their performance. So thank you for sharing your wonderful students with us.
So like I said, a lot of them are at the All-City Band Concert today. So Zofia Barrick is not here, Gabriel Blake, Nick Collier, Ashley Grindy, Sean Ipama, Sammy Ipama. But then we have, here tonight, Annalise Jacoby. Not present, Kaylee Maynard, Asher McAlvey, and here in the room, Gibson Murley. Also not present, Colton Neal, Cambria Nordemir, but here in the room with us, Logan Polly. Also in the room, Hayden Smith. Would like to point out that Hayden not only earned a state scholarship, but we recently found out she's also getting a national scholarship, and she'll be studying in Italy next year at Sapienza University, with hopes that someday she'll be teaching Latin and classics either at the high school or the collegiate level. Joe Stewart isn't here. Also absent is Lincoln Vickers. But here at the end of the line, last but not least, Jackson Drillick. And our final people who weren't present, Gabrielle Wagner, Luke Waldschmidt, Jack Watson, and Emmy Wilson.
least, we have all of our Teacher of the Year for elementary, secondary, and our Employee of the Year. And I'd like to first call up all of our finalists. So if our finalists could join us up front, please. Have everybody? All right, so resolution of commendation. The Crown Point Board of School Trustees is honored to commend each of these individuals as exemplary teachers and employees of the Crown Point School Corporation. Be it hereby resolved that the Board of School Trustees for the Crown Point Community School Corporation wishes to express sincere congratulations to each of these individuals for the 2023 and 2024 finalists. The Board of School Trustees publicly recognizes this achievement and renders it permanently to its minutes to be preserved for public posterity this 20th day of May, 2024. So I'll call these folks up first. I see some of them may not be here. Mary Lux, Amy Merle, Grace Kellett, Jessica Markle, Tara Backle, Carolyn Winland, Stacy Stanifort, Abby Roush, Bob Burks, Scott Kessler, so these were all of our finalists. We have I'll start first with our secondary education. So if I could have our Director of Secondary Education come on up. And I'll let Ms. Sabrina Ramirez come up and present this one for us.
Sure. It is quite an honor to get to present this award to Ryan Jerzak, who is our Secondary Teacher of the Year. And I really want to congratulate all of our nominees and, of course, our selected Teachers of the Year, Employees of the Year, and Administrators of the Year. During the interviews, which we have the pleasure of getting to be part of, the passion, the commitment, the care for students, and the collegiality that all of our educators and our staff have really is beyond what anybody could ever want. They are truly passionate about the work that they do and about seeing students be successful and working with other teachers to do what is best for kids, and that commitment really shines in all of their responses and in their presence here today. Ryan has had a tremendous impact on the culture and the experiences both at Wheeler Middle School and at Taft Middle School, and is a true advocate for inclusion. It's incredible to see the opportunities that he has helped create for our students, for parents, and for our staff to really learn how we can not only meet the needs of students, but see our students for all that they are, the assets that they bring, and for the uniquenesses that they each possess. So I really want to thank Ryan for all of the contributions he has made and will continue to make so that our students are afforded numerous opportunities both within our schools as well as in the community. So I thank you, Ryan, congratulations, and I thank all of our educators and all of our staff who are here with us tonight. I'm going to also see if Tracy Seibert, who is the principal over at Taft Middle School, would like to say some words, and she's making her way over, so thank you, Tracy.
I think, Sabrina said it very well, everything that Ryan has done. If you've ever changed jobs or changed locations, it's hard to do at the end of the year. We asked Ryan to do that in the middle of the year, to not only change classrooms, but change schools, groups of kids, and he thrived in that. He dove right in. We've never had applied skills at Taft before. And he started all kinds of new initiatives this year, and has just been an amazing part of our Taft family, and we are so excited to have him there.
All right, and for our elementary teacher of the year, I would like to call up our Director of Elementary Education, Mr. Nick Chikina.
Thank you. First off, congratulations to all of our finalists and nominees. Sitting in these interviews was such an enjoyable thing to do. It was a great way to start a couple mornings that week when we did these interviews. But Mrs. Ramirez said it really well about everything that all of our finalists bring to the table. I'm excited to congratulate Mrs. Teresa Zarnt, who is our elementary teacher of the year for Crown Point Community Schools. Mrs. Zarnt really blew the panel away in her interview. All the finalists did, but just some things that really kind of stuck out about Mrs. Zarnt from reading through her responses and then listening to her interview, and also her recommendation from her principal was just the importance of creating an environment where all students can thrive in her classroom. She serves on the inclusion leadership team for MacArthur. She talked about, and Ms. Bucko kind of talked about in her recommendation, how Mrs. Zarnt contributes in so many ways around the school, an impact in her classroom, but also outside the four walls of her classroom, and just really a model of the talent and dedication that we have in Crown Point Community Schools. I'm going to kick it to Ms. Bucko real quick. I'm sure she would love to add a few things about Mrs. Zarnt.
Thank you. Well, first of all, congratulations to all of our candidates. Teresa, there are no words. Nick did a great job of sharing everything about you, and I don't know that anybody can fully share everything about Teresa. She is so deserving of this award. She has 5 sons at home, and it's very evident because I've never seen a more calm person. No matter what's going on in her classroom, what you throw at her, she just remains calm, and she's so positive, and she's like, I've got this, no problem, Marianne, we'll do whatever it takes. And that truly is her attitude, is whatever it takes to help our kids succeed. But I think truly the biggest attribute or trait of Teresa, in my opinion, is her love and empathy for our students, and it's just amazing, the compassion she shows. She invites former students back if she knows they're struggling. She gives of her own time, her prep period, to have lunch if it's their lunch period. She has lunch with her own students. It's their birthday, and she brings them a balloon for every student, and it's just truly amazing the love that she has for students, and she's just a great example for all the rest of us. So congratulations, Teresa.
Okay, good evening. Thank you for giving me the honor of introducing the Employee of the Year. But before I do that, raise your hand if you are an exceptional education teacher or employee up here. So I just want to say 5 or 6 years ago, I'm not sure we would have seen half of the nominees from the Exceptional Education Department. So kudos to everyone, and I'm extra proud of those of you in Exceptional Ed. So it's an honor to be here with you all tonight. I want to express my gratitude to Jennifer Eaton, our Employee of the Year. Jen, I hope you don't mind. I will call you Jen because I feel like we're on that kind of first name basis now. Jen has been working with our most intense students at Crown Point High School for the last 5 years. Her compassion, patience, and commitment to create an environment where every student is valued is unmatched. She jumps in, she's not afraid, she helps the most challenging students. She has stepped up to the plate when we needed her most and took a position as a long-term sub when a teacher had to step away, and I don't know what we would have done without you this year. We're incredibly fortunate to have you as part of the Exceptional Education team, and at Crown Point High School. So thank you so much. And I will turn it over to Dr. Terrell for our next one.
Yeah, I'd like a picture of this group really quick. We can do 2 rows. I think that might make it more fun. Look at this one first, just so everybody's looking in the same direction. And then, I want one with just our secondary, elementary, and employee of the year.
If the rest of you can just have a seat for just a minute while we finish up with the other employees of the year, and then you guys can go after that.
I want that giant stuff like behind your head, right? It's really awkward. Okay, I take a few of these because I use them in a lot of places. I just want to put both.
All right. Thank you. And hang on if you would until we get done with the last 2 awards that we have for this evening. At this time, it is my privilege to be able to recognize our Administrator of the Year. We started this a few years ago, and it's been a highlight of the year for us as we look at our administrators and all the great things that are happening in our buildings and across our district. To be able to recognize this person tonight, I would like to introduce all of you to our Director of Transportation, Marty Freeman, and ask Marty if he would come forward, please. At this time, I'm going to ask Mr. Akiwa if he would come and say a few words about Marty. But Marty, with this recognition goes front and center, buddy.
Words really can't fully describe the impact that Marty has had on our school corporation. If you can imagine redistricting, growing school corporation, this guy has done so much to just do the job that, you know, is his job description. And what sets Marty apart is it is very common, not uncommon, it is very common for me between 4 and 5:30 in the morning to get a text from Marty telling me it's a great day to be a Bulldog. He'll text me and say, thank you so much for bringing me on board. I love my job. You know, you would think job means work. You know, job means, oh, I gotta get up, I've gotta get into the office, I gotta drive to school, like the roads at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. to see if it's safe for our buses to travel. This guy does it, and he just feels like it's a gift that he's able to do this. Marty, we cannot thank you enough for this kind of commitment, and probably something that you'll never truly, fully feel, and I can't either because I'm not part of the crew over there at the transportation department. But he has developed a sense of belonging, a sense of worth, a sense of pride, a sense of family, a sense of healthy culture in our transportation department to a level that we've not seen in many, many years or possibly ever at all. He's grown our staff, thankfully, right, because we need them, right, Marty?
Anybody wants to get trained for
Right. And please see Marty outside and fill out an application if you'd like to drive a bus. But anyway, Mr. Freeman, I am so proud, happy, and thankful to work alongside of you at Crown Point Community School Corporation. Thank you for everything that you've brought to our school community, and from my heart and many others, congratulations. I can tell you, Mr.
texts that come in, my wife's like, what does Marty want now? So Marty, congratulations. I'd like to recognize Marty's family is here. If you guys could wave, thank you guys for being here. Marty's wife, Jen, actually spent like at the beginning of the school year Sundays walking neighborhoods and talking to people like, hey, how about this bus stop? Would this work here? And so just so you know, like so many of our administrators, when we go in, that's a whole family thing. So before I present this award, I'd like to read the resolution of commendation. The Crown Point Board of School Trustees is honored to commend Marty Freeman as an exemplary administrator. Be it hereby resolved that the Board of School Trustees for the Crown Point Community School Corporation wishes to express sincere congratulations to Marty Freeman for being named the 2023-24 Administrator of the Year. The school board trustees publicly recognizes this achievement and renders it permanently to its minutes to be preserved for public posterity, dated this 20th day of May 2024. Our last commendation this evening is an award that we do not give annually. Several years ago, we started the Mike Carnahan Spirit of a Bulldog Award, and this award is given annually, possibly, depending on the situations for that school year. This Spirit of a Bulldog Award is for exemplary display of pride, determination, perseverance, kindness, reliability, humility, and selflessness. And for those of you who know Pam Maloney, you know that this is absolutely true of Pam. Pam, I'm going to ask you to come forward at this time. She hates this. She absolutely hates this. Which makes me enjoy this even that much more, and we were able to even sneak your husband here this evening to help be a part of this. At this time, I'm going to ask Matt Reese, our Chief Finance Officer, if he would come and say a few words regarding Pam.
Pam, congratulations and thank you. Pam is retiring after 23 years of service to the Crown Point Community School Corporation. Pam epitomizes the last two phrases you heard in that, humility and selflessness. Pam will always be in the background. This is absolute torture for her to be in front of the crowd tonight and be on the telecast. So we want to thank you, Pam. One thing about Pam, other than making sure that all of the students are fed who want lunches and get breakfast in our corporation, is that Pam does a great job, and what's more important to me, financially having the balances available to us to reimburse us for the services that the school corporation provides to her food service department, think payroll and benefits, but also utilities for her food service equipment. Pam has returned over $1 million back to the millions of dollars back to the school corporation in her 23 years, which supports everything that we do here, and we can't thank her enough for that and for being the Spirit of the Bulldog Award winner.
And as with Marty, this is a family thing again, and the story that I have for Pam was last summer we have an admin family activity at the end of our retreat in July with our administrators, asked them to bring their families back, have some burgers and food and just fellowship time. And this past year, we got there and got it all set up, and as I came, found out that Pam's husband, who is here with us this evening, got there early and was using his yard blower to blow off all the tables and get rid of the dust. And we got all the tables set up, and here comes the thunder and lightning, and we had to call it. And he came back again the next night and did it all again. And again, it's just an example of how our families are committed to being part of this as well. So Pam, if you haven't spent enough time up here, we're going to have just a little bit longer while I read the resolution of commendation. The Crown Point Board of School Trustees is honored to commend Pam Maloney for meritorious achievement. Be it hereby resolved that the Board of School Trustees for Crown Point Community School Corporation wishes to express sincere congratulations to Pam Maloney, Food Service Director, as the recipient of the Mike Carnahan Spirit of a Bulldog Award for exemplary display of pride, determination, perseverance, kindness, reliability, humility, and selflessness. The Board of School Trustees publicly recognizes this achievement and renders it permanently to its minutes to be preserved for public posterity, dated this 20th day of May 2024. Pam Maloney. But I think Brooke may want some of you in the hallway for.
Basically, if you want an award, you can meet your mom.
It's also an easy way for you guys to escape the rest of the meeting. Thanks for coming, appreciate it. Okay, we'll move on with the agenda. Item 3.01, patrons registered to comment. There are no patrons that have signed up to comment, so we'll move on to the consent agenda. Dr. Terrell. Thank you for your consideration this evening. We have 4.01, the regular business meeting minutes, and 422, and also the May 13th executive session minutes. 4.02, the uniform conflict of interest disclosure statements. 4.03, the personnel agenda, and 4.04, the voucher registered checks as listed.
You've heard the recommendations made by Dr. Terrell related to the consent agenda. 4.01, regular business meeting minutes, and May 13th, 2024 executive session minutes. 4.02, uniform conflict of interest disclosure statements. 4.03, the personal agenda, and 4.04, voucher registered check numbers 172177 to 172-393, checks number 104447 to 104457, check numbers 901019, and vouchers number 293860 to 294262. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Show a motion moved by Ms. Basin and seconded by Mr. Vassar. All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And we'll carry the vote 3-0. We'll move along to action item 5.01. Mr. Hardman?
Good evening.
Good evening.
This evening I have two grants that I'd like to bring to you for your approval to apply for and receive. The first one is the Hiability Grant. This is an annual non-competitive grant from the state of Indiana. This year the amount is $76,396. As you look at the three-year trend of this, the significant difference in this is that we are going to use these funds to hire a half-time interventionist to support the Hiability Program, which will help build our capacity to deliver services to our students. With the grant, you are required to allocate a specific amount towards testing materials. That $2,223 that you see in that area is part of what we spend for Hiability screening and testing to be able to identify the students and service them in Crown Point Community Schools. This evening, we're seeking your approval to apply for and receive these funds from the Indiana Department of Education.
You've heard the recommendations of Mr. Hardman to approve and apply and receive grant funds from the Indiana Department of Education High Ability Grant in the amount of $76,396. May I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Show a motion made by Mr. Vassar and, hold on one second. And seconded by Ms. Bazin. Are there any questions or comments?
Yes, Mr. Harmon, on your breakdown of how the funds are split up, my assumption is, based upon the wages for the employee that's going to be doing this, so it'd be a first-year teacher?
No, what this is, that allocation of $56,000, or almost $57,000, is for part of a high-ability teacher that we have in the school corporation. So this grant pays for that, and then in addition to that, we're hiring the halftime interventionist. So it's actually two people that are part of this, not a full compensation of either one of them.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I do have one quick question, Mr. Harbin. As far as the student identification, testing materials, and scoring, I see like an overall decrease in that expense. Is that just becoming a more affordable option or more streamlined as far as how that's going?
Well, the decrease is from the state. The state, in
Their
2023, you had to spend $6,375 of the grant towards identification. This year it decreased, as you can see, by almost $4,000, which allows you to allocate that money in other areas, which again helps us to support it through the staff.
Perfect. Thank you.
Anything further? Ready to vote? All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
We'll show the vote carries 3-0. We'll move to action item 5.02. I think back to you, Mr. Hardman.
Yeah, thank you very much. This grant was a grant that was submitted based on the initiative of one of our teachers, Kelly Chevalier. A few years ago, she also submitted a grant for regarding educator leadership. This is a follow-up to that, and tonight we're seeking your approval to apply for and receive the funding from the IDOE Level Up Leadership Grant. Kelly participated in that, and she has just had a desire to develop her leadership skills at Crown Point High School, and we're really excited to be able to support her by having this grant, these grant funds for her. So tonight, we're seeking your approval to apply for and receive funding of $4,272.20 for the Level Up Leadership cohort in which she participated this year.
You've heard the recommendations of Mr. Hardman to apply for and receive funding from the Indiana Department of Education Level Up Leadership Grant on behalf of the Crown Point High School teacher Kelly Chevalier, participation in Level Up Leadership Cohort 1 in the amount of $4,272.20. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We'll show a motion made by Ms. Bazin and seconded by Mr. Vassar. Are there any questions or comments?
Is the teacher here tonight?
No, she's not.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right, let's put it to a vote. All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
We'll show the vote carries 3-0. On to action item, thank you, Mr. Hardman. On to action item 5.03, Mr. Cucina.
Thank you, Mr. Smith and board members. For your consideration this evening is a resource adoption for elementary STEM. The resources listed will support the STEM and computer science standards in grades K through 5 at our elementary schools for our brand new elementary STEM specials opportunity. The recommendation from administration is that the school board approve the textbook or resource adoption for use beginning in 2024-2025.
You've heard a recommendation of Mr. Cucina to approve the textbook or resource adoption for use beginning in 2024 and 2025 for STEM and computer science standards in grades K through 5. May I have a motion?
Motion?
Second.
Show a motion made by Mr. Vassar, seconded by Ms. Bazin. Are there any questions or comments? I only have one, Mr. Cucina. This is all new based upon the new program. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Let's, if there's no other questions, make a vote. All those in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, and we'll show the vote carries 3-0. Thank you. Move to action item 5.04, Mrs. Ramirez.
Thank you, Mr.
Mr. President and board members. I am here today to bring to light the recommendation for an out-of-country field trip to Greece by Crown Point High School students that would take place in March through the beginning of April of 2026. This will allow students participating in media to learn about storytelling techniques, be able to use words, images, and graphic art, and to develop those skills through the leadership and sponsorship of this trip, which will be led by Lisa Keene, who is here with us today. And I am recommending on behalf of the administration that the school board approve the out-of-country field trip to Greece by Crown Point High School students in March through beginning of April 2026.
Wonderful. You heard the recommendations of Mrs. Ramirez to approve the out-of-country field trip to Greece by Crown Point High School students, March 25th, 26th to April 4th, 5th, 2026. May I have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second in just a second. May I ask a question? 2026, so a year and 3/4 away. Is there a reason why we're approving this so early?
So that they can start to fundraise, they can start to pay off the amount towards their trip. So when we get these in, we typically bring them as soon as we're able to. Oftentimes it's a year in advance, sometimes a year and a half. This one is the longest out, which just shows the great planning and the preparation that this team is going to, or this teacher and students are preparing for.
Okay, thank you. Let's second that then.
All right, thank you, Mr. Vassar. We'll show a motion made by Ms. Bays and a second by Mr. Vassar. Are there any other questions or comments?
No, I just want to thank you for continuing to give these opportunities to our students. It's really nice. We've had a number of these on the agenda in the last few months, and that's really awesome for our students to have that opportunity. So thank you for spearheading that and leading our students overseas.
Yeah, and I would just echo that. This is a fantastic opportunity, so thank you for all you're doing. How many students do we anticipate maybe going? Do we have any idea at this point?
Between 24 and 36, we are doing converged media now, which if you check out our Crowntown Media website, we're really excited about that. There's obviously no shortage of good things happening in our schools to talk about. So as these kids are learning to tell other people's stories, we also want to give them opportunities to create their own life moments, to tell their own stories. So.
What a wonderful opportunity, so thank you again. We appreciate it. We ready to vote? All right. All those in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. We'll show the vote carries 3-0. We are back to you, Mrs. Ramirez, for action item 5.05.
Thank you, Mr. President. Tonight, I would like to bring forward the request for adoption of the textbook to support the healthcare specialist CNA course at Crown Point High School, as well as the resource for school-wide adoption at the middle school to support one school, one book, and these would be used starting in 2024-2025. So it is the administration's recommendation that the school board approve these resources for adoption to begin next school year in 24-25.
Thank you. You've heard the recommendation of the administration to approve the resources for adoption for use beginning in 2024 and 2025. May I have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second in just a second. So, Mrs. Ramirez, you said this is one book, one school? Is
One
that-
school, one book, yes, for the
Okay.
middle school.
How does that actually work then at the middle
Sure.
school?
There is a team of teachers and educators who are on the One School, One Book Committee. They reviewed 11 books in total. They look for books that align with different categories that we have identified in terms of type of text that it is, the type of characters and or story that is told, engagement of students, making sure that it is appropriate for middle school students. And then this novel will be read throughout the school year with accompanying activities that the students will participate in to really support a love of learning and a love of reading.
And it's 6 through 8?
6 through 8.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll second that.
Thank you. I'll show the motion. It's moved to the floor by Ms. Basin and seconded by Mr. Vassar. Are there any other questions or comments?
No, just a quick comment for those who don't have students in middle school and they do the same thing in elementary school with the one school, one book. It actually is a really great opportunity. The elementary is wonderful for families to read the book all together, which has been great. And the middle school has been really nice, just to even watch my 7th graders kind of go through that and have the camaraderie that comes with doing that throughout the whole school. So I appreciate you guys putting that together so that our kids can have that cohesive experience where they're all reading and discussing a little bit of the same thing.
Thank you for your support.
It's wonderful. Ready to vote? All right. All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
We'll show the vote carries 3-0. Thank you. Action item 5.06, Mrs. Paskus.
Good evening. Tonight, I ask for your approval of our contract with Milestone Therapy LLC to provide physical therapy evaluations and physical therapy as a related service as required by state and federal special education law for the 2024-25 school year.
Thank you, Mrs. Paskus. We'll show you heard the recommendations of the administration for the school board to approve the contract with Milestone Therapy LLC to provide IEP required physical therapy evaluations and services for the 2024 and 2025 school year. May I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Show a motion made by Mr. Vassar and seconded by Ms. Bazin. Are there any questions or comments? Mrs. Paskus always just asks this, is this Milestone Therapy a company that we're familiar with?
Yes, this is our 6th year. We currently have about 43 students with physical therapy on their IEPs, and then we're always completing evaluations with them as the school year goes on.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? All right, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
We'll show the vote carries 3-0. Thank you, Mrs. Paskus. Moving on to action item 5.07, Mr. Akiwa.
Thank you, Mr. Smith, board members. Tonight we bring to you for the second time 4 ISBA policies. That would be ISBA 6100, which is internal controls, ISBA 8615, idling of school buses and other idling vehicles on school property, ISBA 1310, electronic participation by board members in board meetings, and ISBA 8500, visitors to school buildings. As you know, last month we had our first reading of these 4 policies. Tonight, we are making the recommendation that we waive the second reading and approve these 4 policies.
Thank you, Mr. Akiwa. You heard the recommendations of the administrations to approve ISBA 6100, internal controls, ISBA policy 8615, idling of school buses and other idling vehicles on school property, ISBA policy number 1310, electronic participation by board members in board meetings, ISBA 8500, visitors to school buildings, and we've received a recommendation to waive the second reading. May I have a motion?
I move to vote on those 4 policies and waive the second reading.
Thank you. I'll second that motion. Are there any comments or questions from Mr. Akiwa?
Yes, Mr. Akiwa, on the idling of school buses and other idling vehicles on school property. So as a veteran of bus duty, I understand that. So we have buses on one part of the building, we have a parent line in another part of the building. How do we monitor this, or how do we enforce this?
We've got signs posted, and we just really hope that individuals are, doing their best to realize that they need to, once they get in the spot where they're going to sit, they go ahead and power down their vehicles
Right.
to minimize any fumes that are coming in and out of the buildings.
Yeah, and I only ask that because, signs are just for law-abiding citizens, right? So I understand that. The police would have no jurisdiction on this.
This is our local school board policy.
Okay.
We've had it, this is just
It's been around for a long time.
updating language, for it to become current as we transition from Neola to ISBA. That is correct.
Thank you. I'll second that, Mr. Smith.
I think it's already on the floor.
Okay.
I motioned myself.
My
So,
mistake.
any other questions or comments? All right, all those in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
The vote carries 3-0. Thank you, Mr. Akiwa. We'll go on to action item 5.08, Mr. Reese.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Members of the board, tonight we bring before you the 2024-2025 school meal prices recommendation. You'll notice that there's no increase for elementary, middle, or high school lunches at our buildings. However, Trinity and St. Mary's have a 10-cent increase. Breakfast is staying also the same in our elementary, middle, and high schools. We're able to do this even though the federal guidelines would like us to raise our prices. We can keep our prices the same for our buildings simply because our balances are sufficient enough to still provide the guidelines for the food that the federal government would like us to require. So with that, we make a recommendation for the meal prices as presented.
Thank you, Mr. Reese. You've heard the recommendations of the administration to approve the meal prices for the 2024 and 2025 school year that are within the federal guidelines. May I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Show a motion made by Mr. Vassar and second by Ms. Bazin. Are there any questions or comments?
I just think it's amazing
Yeah.
that throughout our whole school district, the prices don't go up. So, Matt, I don't know if you're the person to thank or Pam's the person to thank on that, but that just amazes me in this economy that the price doesn't rise. So
That's
thanks.
the real reason why Pam showed up this evening.
That's a victory in of itself, for sure. Now, I was gonna say the same thing, just that with inflation as high as it is, that's incredible. So kudos to all those that have been able to make that happen for our.
Absolutely.
I ask you to just
parents and our
remember
students.
that when we need, to potentially in the future, need to bring a price increase. And remember how good we've had it for so long.
We tend to have short memories, Mr. Reese. All right, any other questions or comments? All right, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Show the vote carries 3-0. Moving on to action item 5.09, food service procurement plan approval for 2024-2025. Back to you, Mr. Reese.
Thank you. Those same federal guidelines that work with our pricing of our food also require us to have a procurement plan as described by the federal government. The Indiana Department of Education, Child and Food Nutrition is nice enough to provide us with a template, which is what you have in front of you. That template, we then insert our board policy language into that template, so you can be assured that the policy matches the template that the Indiana DOE has required of us. So with that, we're asking for your approval for the 2024-2025 food service procurement plan.
Further recommendations of the administration to approve the 2024 and 2025 food service procurement plan. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Show a motion made by Ms. Bazin and second by Mr. Vassar. Are there any questions or comments? If no questions or comments, we'll vote. All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
We'll show the vote carries 3-0. On to action item 5.10, district-wide asphalt paving projects. Mr. Reese.
Thank you. As we move towards the end of our construction projects, now the next step is to go back in and fix some of the paving that's been done around to our parking lots. So with that, we received bids last week for paving at a number of buildings. The total bids came in at $1,217,127, with the low bid being from Site Services. The school corporations both have extensive experience with site services in the past. So with that, we're recommending approval of the contracts for district-wide asphalt paving projects for asphalt to Site Services.
Thank you, Mr. Reese. You've heard the recommendation of the administration to approve the contracts for the district-wide asphalt paving projects as follows. Asphalt to Site Services in the amount of $1,217,127. May I have a motion?
It's your turn, mine.
So moved.
Second.
We'll show that motion made by Ms. Bazin and seconded by Mr. Vassar. Are there any questions or comments?
How long does the asphalt typically last in a school's parking lot?
I'm going to turn that one over to Mr. Katsouris.
Just typically. I mean,
With proper maintenance, typically 20 to 25 years.
oh, really?
Now, you will have some isolated areas that have some cracking you might have to address every few years, but, I mean, if you look at the high school parking lot, that's going on 21 years now.
Wow, never would have guessed that. Wow, that's great.
And again, I just want to reiterate, this is the lowest bid process, and Site Services had the lowest bid, correct? Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Okay. With no other questions or comments, we'll put it to a vote. All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
We'll show the vote carries 3-0. All right, we're moving on to the agenda item 6.01, superintendent's discussion groups. Mr. Vassar, we'll start with you out in Cedar Lake if you have anything.
Cedar Lake, we did not meet this month because it was election day. So we would be meeting the first Tuesday in June.
Wonderful,
So
thank you.
nothing to report.
Okay. I know Mr. Angel's not present tonight, and he handles Winfield, so we'll catch up with him next week. And I have nothing to report for Crown Point. So move on to item 6.02, Director of Grants Assessments, Mr. Hardman.
Oh, thank you very much. I am, I learn, I read, AP, SAT. If you don't know what those are the most recent assessments that we have administered in Crown Point schools. I just wanted to just take you through, think about it from the student standpoint for just a moment as they engage in that testing and the preparation that goes into that taking place, the pressure, the stress that students might feel as they come into that testing, those testing times. Then you start thinking about the teachers and their administration of the testing, and there's pressure on teachers to administer that well, so that students have the best opportunity to do their best on that. And then you look at the support staff that are working with students in small groups or supporting them as proctors, and then you have the administrators who are overseeing that at the building level, so that we don't have irregularity reports and the training that goes into that. And then you come up to the level here with the directors and the secretaries that are working to really make sure that this is a solid administration season. Report to you, very little kind of irregularities that were submitted to the state that weren't able to be worked out. And so just as from an administration standpoint, the number of people, the students, families that are engaged in this really is just a big thank you to everybody that makes that occur. Results for iLearn will be coming out this Friday. They will be coming home to students for English language arts and math, as well as social studies at grade 5. Science testing, they're resetting the cut scores. So the science tests at grades 4, 6, and for biology, they're going to be coming out later on in the summer, and we'll be giving those to parents probably in the fall. We do have what's called a rescore window that's coming up. There'll be a messaging if you have children in the elementary, middle school. Messaging will be coming out Wednesday, and it's a rescore window that by law we have to offer. And the open-ended items, that means those items that students actually write responses or type responses now, those can be reviewed by parents, and if we think that there's an error in the scoring, those can be submitted to the state for a rescore. And if it's seen that additional points should be given, more points will be given, and in the same way, if less points are needed, the score could actually be lowered. So that too is coming up, and we'll complete that by the end of next week. For summer school, we're getting geared up for that. So as soon as we have end of the school year, graduation happens, and that following Monday, we're in summer school. So we have a number of students that have enrolled, and for credits, for support, for interventions, all of that will be taking place, and we're thankful for the parents that help support that, as well as the staff that you approved tonight for our summer school program. So thank you very much.
Mr. Hardman, how many students estimate, not going to hold you to it, attend summer school in our district?
I'm going to probably say somewhere around a couple thousand.
That many? Wow.
Yeah, because the high school has a huge enrollment of students. I think there's around 700 students that we have right now at the elementary and middle schools.
Got it, thank you. And then the only other question I have is, are you going to be able to sleep this week with these test results coming out Friday?
It used to be they came out the day before Thanksgiving, and that just ruined my.
Are there any other questions or comments? You good? All right. Thank you, Mr. Hardman. All right, moving on to item 6.03, Director of Elementary Education, Mr. Kachina.
Thank you, Mr. Smith and board members. Tonight I want to thank, there's too many people to name, but I want to thank the 84 elementary school teachers. 2 of them are right here. And 14 exceptional education teachers who, over the course of the last month, we've had 12 half-day meetings with our curriculum specialists for math and ELA, Joe Bisick and Amy McAllister, to create our new district curriculum maps for grades K through 5 in math and ELA. During those meetings, like I said, we had 1 teacher from each grade level from each building attend those to work alongside administrators and curriculum specialists to build those curriculum maps. It was a wonderful collaborative process and lots of input from teachers and input from every school building across the district, elementary-wise. So that was great. We're really excited as this is going to help us align things to our new Indiana academic standards ahead of the iLearn checkpoint change next year. Also, we believe this is going to help strengthen our collaboration and consistency across the district, and will help us really to make data-driven decisions moving forward for both how we support students and how we tweak our curriculum and develop our curriculum. This is my first month of May not being at the building level, and it's really strange, but I want to just take a minute to thank our teachers and staff members and administrators for all they're doing to really serve our kids and our community in really meaningful ways. There's so many events happening every day, from Kindy 500s to field days to DARE graduations and so much more, and it's just so evident how much our teachers care to make these lasting memories for our kids, and I just appreciate all the hard work that everyone's doing to get us to the end of the year, so thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kachina. Any questions? All good? All right, move on to item 6.04, Director of Secondary Education, Mrs. Ramirez.
Thank you, Mr. Smith and board members. I don't think I can really paint the picture of all that is happening right now throughout the secondary world, but I will highlight a couple things, and it really just goes to show the commitment that our administrators, our teachers, our staff have to providing opportunities that will leave really lasting memories for our students. And so I'd like to start by just congratulating our middle schools and Crown Point High School for their excellence in Indiana State Music Association and their competitions that they have been part of. They are truly talented. We had the first career fair at Crown Point High School, and Lynn Alkire and the CPHS admin team and counseling team were integral in making that a successful opportunity for our students to connect with future career opportunities. We had the performance of Lion King on the 3rd over at Taft, and that was a great really demonstration of passion and talent for our middle school students, which was wonderful to get to see. I was excited to get a text on the morning of the 11th of May. Russ was out at the car show that Dan White and Pat Maggie helped organize, and so it's so cool that our students who are into automotive really get to showcase some of their vehicles as well as the community. So again, I think it just really shows that we are an integral part of the community and that our community wants to be part of us. So I think that that is always an exciting event, and they had a great day for that. Our middle schools last week had another parent welcome for our incoming 6th graders, and I think that that really goes to show how invested we are in making sure that the transition from elementary to middle school is a success, and their commitment to welcoming our families and our students and giving them kind of the lay of the land for what to expect. We had a wonderful military celebration at Crown Point High School, which is always not only heartfelt, but I think just very moving to see the commitment that our students have developed through the leadership of their parents and through the support of the school system to represent our country. We also had several of our actually own staff who have students who are going into the military, so I am just very grateful to those fine students for serving our country. We're of course looking forward to graduation coming up in June and to celebrating all of our graduates this year. And I just really want to take the opportunity to thank all of the educators, our employees and our administrators who were here with us today being nominated, and even those who were not able to be with us today. They are truly an inspiration. As Nick mentioned, you know, when we sit in these interviews, it's like a great time for us as administrators to just hear about the love and the passion that these educators and staff continue to demonstrate. And I feel very blessed to be able to be part of the secondary team and part of the greater good of Crown Point Community School Corporation. So thank you.
Mrs. Ramirez, you could feel as the individuals were talking today, the passion that they have in their voices and how excited they are. We're very blessed. How many students are we anticipate graduating? How many handshakes do we have to have this year as board members?
I think that we're doing some fist bumps this year, so we're
Fist
going to
bumps,
be
okay.
kind of cool and rock it in 24,
Fist
25.
bump. How
Is
many
that right,
fist
Dr.
bumps then?
Terrell?
We're not doing fist bumps.
Handshake or fist bump, we'll see about that. I'm guessing handshake will win out. I would imagine, I think that we have slightly over 650-ish.
Okay.
Yeah, in that
Excellent.
range.
Well, I know we're effective, so it's going to be
Yes.
great. What a great day for them.
Yes.
So thank you.
Thank you.
We'll go to item 6.05, Director of Exceptional Education, Mrs. Paskus.
Good evening, board members.
Good evening.
Last Wednesday, we held our 3rd annual Unified Game Day at the high school. We had 375 athletes, which was made up of students from our Applied Skills program with a peer buddy, and competed in various track and field and obstacle course events. I want to thank the high school for the use of the facilities, the high school pep band, food service, Rachel Dunlap, our PT assistant, and Kelly Oos, my assistant, who really spearheaded the planning of this year's event. I want to thank our central office staff that worked events, Mr. Gianfermi, Mr. Hardman, Mrs. Ramirez, Mr. Chiquina, Mrs. McAllister, Mr. Bisek, and Mrs. Duval. Thank two of our school nurses, Tiffany Bowman and Kelly McCarthy, our Master of Ceremonies, Mike Molaski, and our DJ, Stephanie Penley, who's one of our speech pathologists. Thanks to our buildings and grounds staff who the night before and morning of moved some very vital student equipment in order for them to participate. Several community volunteers, Skillman sent some people. We had one of the Crown Point ambassadors from this year that volunteered. And then thank you to Mr. Smith for stopping by. It was an awesome day.
Was awesome. Mrs. Paskus, I just want to say, having the opportunity to go out there, and I was out there last year too to watch it, and every year it just improves and gets better and better. If you haven't had a chance to go out there and watch the Unified Games, I said this last year and I'll say it again, I recommend you go watch the Unified Games. If you want to see a community work together and come together, that's the place to be. It's really impressive. So, and just like we saw with the volunteers from the community, I think you're going to see more and more of that just because it's such a great event. So well done, and thank you for putting that on.
Thank you. I have a vision, like food trucks. I have a vision.
How many
I know we're not
students
stopping
this
there.
year? How many students this year?
375.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Go to item 6.06, Chief Human Resource Officer, Mr. Akiwa.
Thank you, Mr. Smith and board members. First, I would like to just thank our leadership team in all of our schools. The events that they're mentioning, there is so much happening right now, but beneath all of that, they are still taking care of business. We have been interviewing and screening applicants for the positions as we begin to staff for next year, and I just cannot thank all of our leaders for getting so much done while tending to all these great things happening in their buildings. We've got some wonderful candidates teed up to join us next year. So it's been a very successful, to this point, hiring season here for the Crown Point Community School Corporation. And finally, I'd like to thank this moment that happened tonight with Teacher of the Year, Employee of the Year, Administrator of the Year. Really cannot be done without the help and coordination of Diana Green, who's in the back of the room over there. So thank you, Diana, for all of your help. And, our entire, cabinet and administrative staff, I mean, everybody's been talking about it, but it is absolutely truthful. Number one, to read the commentary of the community members who are nominating our folks to become finalists. It just blows you away to hear all the great things and how much appreciation and love there is in our community. And then to go sit in these interviews for those few minutes when they're in there, being able to talk about what they do every day for children and all of our students and families. No kidding, you need some Kleenex in there. You need tissue paper, and that is the absolute truth. So thank you to everybody who contributed to tonight's celebration, all of our finalists and our winners. We are certainly fortunate here in Crown Point Community School Corporation. Thank you.
Well said, Mr. Akiwa. Any questions? Any follow-up? All right, we'll move on to item 6.07, Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Reese.
Thank you. I've got just a couple items. One, I'd like to thank, there's 125 new users of our financial and accounting software and personnel software in the district. To tell you how important it is for those people to be flexible, we've been on the same system for over 40 years, and we're moving into a web-based module, which we're very excited about. We believe it's going to bring about some efficiencies as we get further into it, But obviously, as you get into a huge change like this, we have a few road bumps, speed bumps along the way. So I want to thank everybody for being flexible. But everybody's trained. We've been through 2 payrolls now on the new system. This docket tonight was, for the most part, prepared in the new system. I think went very well. I'm sure my staff will not completely agree with me right now, but I think it'll be better as we get through it. We have had some hiccups, which we're trying to address as quickly as possible, and they've been great about trying to, as Mr. Akiwa says, keep their knees bent and be flexible as we react to what we need to. I had one item and now I can't remember what it was.
That's okay. Happened to me earlier tonight, Mr. Reese.
It's a new frontier for me to give comments on in this section of the meeting.
If you remember, we can come back to you.
I apologize, but I'm done for the evening.
Any questions for Mr. Reese? All right, move to item 6.08, Director of Communications, Mrs. Allen.
I'm sorry, Brooke, I just remembered. Thank you. If you would please say a little prayer with Mr. Mulaski so we can stop the rain and he can get some lawns cut around the district. I'm sure he'd be appreciative of that. Thank you.
Or grab your mower, and we're all gonna start meeting at different spots in the evening, and that'll be our team building exercises.
Absolutely. Mrs. Allen.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Every year in the month of May, I like to take a few moments to just add up the numbers for our communications department. Still the smallest department in the district, but we're doing okay. So our social media reach this year was roughly 1.6 million individuals. We had more than 800,000 views of our newsletters online. Our earned media was roughly $200,000. We don't pay for this, it's what we earn. It's a dollar amount that's attributed to the positive news coverage that we receive. We took roughly 20,000 photos this year, 20% of which have been in the month of May. And there's still more May to go. And then we captured roughly 3,000 minutes of video. So lots of work. But a big thank you goes out to Rutch Johnson, our digital media specialist, who's on my team, and Mary Hurt, who has joined us here part-time, part communications secretary, part HR secretary. So thank you to both of them.
Thank you, Mrs. Allen. Any questions? Mrs. Allen? Thank you. Move on to item 6.09, Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Terrell.
So literally, the first one on my list tonight was Diana Green and her help with everything that happened, and already rightly recognize that, and we appreciate Diana and all the work she does behind the scene. I think if nothing else you can take away from this evening and the accommodations we had and brought forward to you is we're a well-rounded corporation. I know you hear a lot about athletics, or you hear a lot about different things. I saw something that was posted just recently. It talked about our robotics program and how it's one of the largest in the nation, and including the world even. So the things that we can offer our students here in our community is really second to none. With that, though, and with all the activities that you're hearing about for the end of the year, I want to thank the volunteers, our parents that come in, community members who come in to our school corporation and our buildings throughout the month of May. Those numbers are staggering, and we couldn't do all of this and provide such great opportunities for our students without them. And lastly, just want to really take the opportunity to once again thank Nick Chena and his work for our STEM program. What an exciting opportunity for elementary students to be able to experience that as one of their regular weekly rotations now, that every student will be involved in a STEM class each and every week at the elementary level is just a great thing for our corporation and for our students. So thank you for that as well, and for your board for your support in that area.
Good. Absolutely. All right, we'll move to item 7.01, other business of the board. Anybody have anything tonight?
Yeah, I had an opportunity to speak with Mr. Angel today. We talked about, and Mr. Smith, you've requested information from board members about things that they would like to discuss on policies, and I'd like to get that set up soon. It seems like we just keep kicking the can down the road. I'm not a can kicker, and I'd like to get that set up where we can have an honest discussion about things, that open and honest discussion about things. So hopefully we can have that set up very, very soon.
Thank you, Mr. Vester. Are we able to have retreats on something like that for discussion in general about policies, or does anybody have any inclination on that?
We could not, it would not qualify for an executive session. so it would have to be a public meeting. If there was, we could look into the possibility of a retreat where we had somebody come and train the board on the creation of policies, possibly. Some areas we need to look into with that.
Okay.
Well, could we also just have a work session which is open to the public?
That's
I don't think
possible
we need
as
to have
well.
a retreat. I mean, work sessions can be done right in this room.
If we got with Mr. Angel when he comes back, is that something you'd discuss and
Yeah.
figure out a solution and a way to get this moving forward?
Sure.
Figure it
He
out?
gave me his word. I promise this will be done soon.
We, I have, is that it, Mr. Vassar?
That's it.
Okay. I have a couple comments, just I think are appropriate in this area. You know, I heard the comments of the administration and a lot of the statements, and I think it's important for parents and students and teachers and all the people that are employed here, all the wonderful people that, you know, we really strive as a school corporation to excel. You know, we started when Dr. Terrell came on a couple of years ago about average is not good enough for Crown Point. And we really try to hold a high bar. We don't get it always right. It's not always perfect, but there's no reason we shouldn't be great at everything we do. And so that's I know I used to say that in open board meetings as to the administration. I still feel that way. And we have seen huge improvement. And I think one of the biggest areas we've seen that improvement as a board member since I've sat, this is my 8th year, I guess it is, but is in the culture. And I think we sense that tonight between the administration, the teachers, down to the employees, to the different department heads, down to the, you know, we function as a body, as a family. And I feel that now. And it sure makes my job as a board member much easier. And I think it makes the board members' jobs easier. So I want to say thank you. We're coming to an end of the year. Thank you to everybody in our school corporation who has served and loves so well, loves students, and just gives their time, goes above and beyond. And I hope that you see that from the top down. That's the goal, the objective. So I just think it's important to say that and reiterate that. I know, Dr. Terrell, you just talked about that a little bit, and it is a good day to be a Bulldog. We heard that earlier today. So just want to say thank you to all those this year and for a wonderful school year. So that was it for me. Anybody else?
Are we going to recognition and appreciation? Or-
Yes, we can. That was my recognition and appreciation on the other business of the board. So we'll move to item 8, board statements of appreciation and recognition, 8.01. Mr. Vassar.
Ladies first.
So a couple of things. First and foremost, tonight was great to recognize all of our finalists and our award winners for Teacher of the Year, Employee of the Year. But I think we'd be remiss if we didn't recognize that for all of the folks who are up here being recognized, we have thousands, right, of folks in the background who are doing wonderful things with our students, who are doing wonderful things in our schools that make everything run smoothly across the board. There is no time like May to be a teacher. Besides the millions of things on the calendar, you know, the kids' focus and attention really goes downhill sharply as the weather gets nicer. So just a formal thank you and appreciation to all of our teachers who were not recognized this evening. We see you, you're amazing, and we're very grateful to have each and every one of you, especially my children's teachers, for putting up with them, because I'm about to get them back for the summer and realize just how much I appreciated having them. So I wanted to say thank you for that. Also for our board retreat that we had last week. For those of you who don't know, our cabinet members work all day and then they stay here until 9 o'clock at night to make sure that we have a robust understanding of what we've done in the last year, where they're going with each of their individual sections. And it's eye-opening and amazing, and getting to be now, having attended that for a second year, not only to see the passion that comes out of each of our cabinet members and to know that we have the right people in the right seats who care about Crown Point, who care about our kids, but to see what they've done and accomplished in that year. You know, last year we were just new coming in, so you just kind of think, okay, this is your update, this is where you're at on everything. But to see each of those team members be able to say, hey, here's where we've gotten and here's where we're trying to go, and I couldn't be here without this person who paved the way for me, is really outstanding. So kudos to the team for their hard work day in and day out. be to the team and their families for staying until 9 o'clock at night to make sure that they could provide that update to us. It's greatly appreciated. And to Dr. Terrell for the culture that he's created here with his team, very much appreciated.
Thank you, Ms. Basin. Mr. Vassar.
I had the opportunity a week and a half ago to attend a ceremony for our high school students who are going into the military. And it was a tremendous program that was put on by Mr. Marcinek. I was happy to be part of that, although a very small part of that. Military is very important to me on a personal level. My dad taught me long ago, you stop and say thank you to someone who served, and I've never failed to do that in my life. Became very personal for us as my brother-in-law served 6 tours in Afghanistan and Iraq. And it's forever affected him in a very negative way. And to see our boys from Crown Point now that are going forth to serve in different branches of the government, I just ask God's blessing upon them as they go forth, and I'm so appreciative of them for their service to our country in advance. So blessings to them.
Well said, Mr. Vassar. Thank you. I've already made my statements tonight, so I'll pass. I have nothing else to say, but again, just thank you, and thank you all for being in attendance tonight. With that, I think we'll go to item number 9, look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we'll show that Ms. Basin moves to adjourn and Mr. Vassar seconds. All in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And we'll show the vote carries 3-0. Thank you.